Hello everybody! For those who are new to our Fun Fabric Friday webinars, I'm your instructor Brittany Haas. I'm one of the buyers, incoming inventory managers, and fabric specialists for the online department here at Mood. I'm also the person who gives you new products each and every week. And having said that, these webinars are primarily going to be about all the really cool and fun fabrics that have come in each week. And in the last couple of videos, I also gave you some of my personal favorites that came in over the past couple of months. And instead of doing that this week, what I'm going to be doing is showing you new products, as well as some of our best sellers and hottest trending fabrics that are on the site right now. Last week, I presented a contest. And what that contest was if you decided to buy one of the fabrics that you see in any of these videos, construct something for either me or for Swatch to wear, and then send it in to us, we would present it not only by wearing it in these webinars, but we'll also post it on all social media outlets with your information tagged to it, as well as rewarding you with a $100 Mood gift card. So we hope you try and partake in those. We did not expect any entries for the first couple weeks, as we know it takes time to buy a fabric, have it shipped out, construct something, and then send it back in. So we do not expect anything yet, but we do hope to see something along the next couple of weeks of these webinars. I also want to mention a coupon code. For those who are watching us live at moodu.com, I will reward you a 10% off Fashion Fabrics coupon code, except for the things that start with PV, at the end of these webinars. However, if you're watching this on any other outlet such as YouTube, I won't be giving you a coupon code and you're not eligible for the contest. So I highly recommend going to moodu.com and signing up for these live webinars and join us. Now, let's get to the fabrics. Our first item is a Ralph Lauren. It's 308988, and it's a silk blend. And this fabric, it's woven similar to a gazar, but it's definitely not a gazar, because you can tell that this fabric drapes really nicely. A gazar is like an organza with either a plain or basket weave, but more opaque. This, however, is really fluid, so it's just a simple silk basket woven blend. And it would be great for blouses, skirts, dresses, maybe even looser pants. It is a little opaque, it's a little translucent, but it should be okay when held against the body. You probably won't need to line it. The only time I might line it is if you do make pants just for the top half. And here we go. Our next item is 308993. It's a Ralph Lauren silk shantung. And the difference between a shantung and a dupioni is that a dupioni is made with raw fibers, and thus the slubbing going through it is actually much thicker and random. In a shantung, the slubbing is actually more like striations, and they're very thin, so the texture is almost not noticeable. However, most shantung dupioni fabrics are actually very crisp. This one, as you can tell, is really fluid and drape, which makes it great for any type of blouse, dress, skirts. It's even opaque enough to make a great pair of palazzo pants from it. If you can also tell in the close-up, there's a really, really nice sheen to this fabric, but it's not overbearing. So if you're gonna go from casual to business or to formal, this is actually a great option for you. Our next fabric is 308990. This one's a wool herringbone, and I want to talk about the difference between a herringbone, a zigzag, and a chevron. Herringbone, as you can see in the close-up, these V's, the lines don't exactly match up. So that's how you can tell is a herringbone versus a chevron. A chevron, there's lines that go down in between the V's, but they actually match up in the corners. A zigzag, there's no line or any kind of spacing going between the V's at all, and it's just a continual up and down pattern. This wool is really nice. It's great for suiting applications. It's brown, but it's got an array of different colors speckled through it. And the drape of it's really, really soft. So you can do anything from dusters to jackets to cloaks to coats. It can also be a really nice thick wool dress for the winter time. And honestly, against my skin, it doesn't feel scratchy at all. However, like I say in about everything, always grab a swatch because everyone has a different opinion about how scratchy something is, what the color is. Nothing's always set the same, so I always recommend ordering a swatch for every single fabric I present. Our next fabric is 308932. This fabric is from Theory, and I'm really excited about this fabric because this is actually made from Tencel, which is Tencel. It's a new fiber that's hot on the markets right now. And what it is, it's kind of like a blend between cotton and rayon. It's really, really soft to the touch. It's also got a nice sheen to it. And as you can tell, this is a really nice chambray fabric that looks like denim. So this would be really great for those boyfriend style shirts, for any kind of top weight fabric. It can be made into looser pants, but it's definitely something that you would use as a top weight item. Skirts are a possibility, bustiers are a possibility. And honestly, the hand of this is just so soft. I would highly recommend at least grabbing a swatch just to feel it. Our next product is somewhere. It's 308958. And this is actually a stretch mesh. So as you can see, it has stretch in the weft, but there's little to no stretch in the warp. And mesh is a pretty much sheer fabric that has a lot of drape to it. It's great for like inserts on dresses. It's great for if you want like a side panel on a skirt, or if you want to have something sheer in a garment. It's good little cutouts are great with this fabric. You can also maybe line it with a jersey or with a spandex fabric and make dresses or shirts. It's really, really smooth to the touch. And it's also got this really, really fun abstract pattern to it, which most of our meshes don't have. So I would actually take a look at this solely for the pattern itself. Here's another mesh, and it's 308957. It's actually more of a netting, and here's the difference between stretch meshes and nettings. Nettings are actually a type of mesh, however, it's not made to have stretch in it. If it has elastin in it, it might have a little bit, but a lot of the times, if you look at the construction of it, it's different. Mesh has like a knit, circular, or hexagon structure to it. Net is more structural. This one actually has squares, so that's the difference. And it's actually, this one's a camo pattern, which is fun. This one does have stretch, but that's because it's blended with a stretch fiber. And if you stretch it in this direction, it doesn't stretch at all. Same thing with the last one. These are really fun for cutouts in anything. So if you were to have it slit down the side of a skirt, or if you wanted to have a deep V in a dress neckline, or if you wanted an open back but it to not be too open, this would be a great fabric to use. A lot of the time I've seen now camisoles that have a opaque front and a sheer back, and this might be something fun to do with that. This next fabric is 308956, and it's actually a French terry in a really fun bright orange color. And it's made from a knit construction, so it has a lot of stretch in the weft. Let's see if it has any in the warp. It does have stretch in the warp, so it has a nice four-way stretch to it. What a French terry is compared to a terry. A terry cloth is your toweling material. It's made from little uncut loops going throughout the fabric, but on both sides. A French terry has uncut loops only on the face, and the back is just a regular construction. So that's the difference. This one's actually made from a few fibers. Rayon is one of them, so it has a nice sheen to it. And this is the type of fabric that would be great for bathing suit cover-ups, bathrobes, t-shirts, anything that's worn around water or in the sun. This would be a fun material to use. And you can use it for bodycon garments, so I would pick up a swatch just so you can see what the French terry and uncut loops are. This one is 308415. And before I start talking about this, I want to let you know that the rest of our new products, they're actually an array of cotton prints that we just got in. Some of them are a mix, and I'll tell you what the contents are. But this one is 100% cotton. It's actually made from combed cotton, so it's really soft. And it comes in black and white, which is this one. Then there's a white and black, where the white is the background, and there's black design. And then there's a navy background with a white design. And this guy is full of reindeer, which is a lot of fun. It's actually a poplin, I believe, which is a stiffer cotton. It's crisper. It's great for shirting applications. And it is somewhat translucent, not very translucent, so once again, when you hold it to the body, it's not going to show. You can wear this without lining it or having a worry that your colorful undergarments might show through. It's got a crisp drape to it. So any kind of just like regular shirting application would be great. Boyfriend style shirts, even shorts, like light summer shorts would be great from this material. And I would also keep an eye out for these reindeers, because we put them up and immediately people started buying them in multiple colors. So this is gonna go really fast. But the good thing is it is a reorderable product. So if you want large amounts of it or high quality bulk, we can actually send it to you at a discounted price. So I would definitely call up the online department and ask them about their wholesale options when you're trying to buy bulk of these products. Our next item is 308945, and this one's also 100% combed cotton. It's another, actually I believe this one was a voile, but I have to check with the site. It comes in this navy with white coloration. It also comes in a white with black knots and a black with white knots. And you can see there's this rope, almost like fishnet pattern to it, which is a lot of fun. And it's really smooth in texture, it's crisp and draped, so it's actually more likely going to be a poplin than a voile. And the design of it's really unique. You don't really see any kind of print like that. So it's kind of a mix between having a diamond print and having a really cool rope print to it. So I mean, it looks great for maybe sailor garments, dresses, blouses, and like I said, maybe even summer shorts. And it's cotton, so it'll be great for warmer weather. Our next fabric is 308445. 434. And I do want to mention that the last one was definitely a poplin. This one's actually a rayon and cotton blended voile. And the difference between a poplin and a voile is that a voile is really soft, has a very easy drape, and is usually somewhat sheer or translucent. And this one, it's actually more opaque than most voiles are. It's really soft. And this one is a white with a black design on the top. It also comes in navy with a white design and black with a white design. And it's not your typical checkered. It's got this abstract kind of look to it with wavy lines and different thicknesses. It looks like it was drawn on with paint, which is a lot of fun. It's got a really easy drape, so blouses are a definite yes with this. Summer dresses would be great with this fabric. I would not necessarily make this into summer shorts. It's a little light for that. Skirts would also be an option from this material. You can also maybe use it for a lining, maybe if you're lining a jean jacket or if you're lining any other kind of lightweight outerwear, this would be a great option to use. Our next item is 308418. And this is a 100% combed cotton poplin. It comes in this coloration where it's white with red stars and blue smaller stars, but it also comes with a white background, blue stars, and red smaller stars. And this is your kind of 4th of July-esque feel going on right here. So if you're trying to get fabrics for holiday purposes, this would be great. We haven't actually had many 4th of July fabrics on the site yet, and so this is the start to the collection that we're going to grow. Just like any other poplin, this material is crisper, so shirts, summer shorts, dresses, that's what you're going to make from this material. It is white. I would recommend not wearing colorful undergarments underneath it. I would recommend either having something that's nude or lining it. But it is actually more opaque than most other white fabrics. Our next item is 308406, and it's a 100% combed cotton voile. This is actually the only colorway that we have this fabric in as of right now, but we are hoping to get it in other colors soon. It's got a really cool herringbone pattern to it. As I described before, a herringbone is when the zigzags don't match up. So instead of them coming to a V, they come like that. Being a voile, it is somewhat translucent, and it does have a nice easy drape to it. This one's a little crisper than most of your other voiles, but I would still stick with blouses, dresses, and shirts with this fabric. You can get away with making a skirt, but I would most likely line it if you did. Our next fabric is for those gamers out there, for everyone who likes to play cards. This is 308420, and if you're ever going to a casino, pick this fabric up. This is awesome. It's got aces, hearts, and spades just thrown all over, and it's all aces, and you know that's a high card, so. It is a poplin, so it's crisper, great for shirts. This is definitely something you want to buy for those fun fun shirts when you're going to either a casino or going on vacation to relax. It's just one of those vacation type shirting fabrics. It is somewhat translucent. I would recommend lining it if you're going to make any kind of bottom weight garment. However, if you wear shorts or make shorts from this fabric, I would just recommend wearing nude undergarments. Our next product is actually beautiful. It's got a brilliant sheen to it, and it's 308432. It comes in this navy with gold paisley design, and it comes in white with a navy paisley design. And it's actually a 100% cotton sateen. It's also combed, so it's very soft and smooth in surface texture. And like all other sateens, it's got almost a mercerized look to it. So it's shiny on the surface. It's as crisp as a poplin though. It's not like most other sateens where it's very heavy. This one's very, very light. So I would compare it in weight to a poplin just because it has the shine on the surface makes it a sateen. It's great for any type of either casual, business, or formal blouses, dresses. It would also be really great for bow ties or regular ties. This is something I would definitely use to decorate those ties with. Even if this is not your style, I highly recommend ordering a swatch because a swatch can change your mind with this fabric, I promise. Our next print is 308410, and it's a 100% cotton voile. It comes with these red roses. It also comes where the floral design is blue and green. So there's 3 different colorations for this fabric. The fabric itself actually has a diagonal pattern to it. So if you look at it closely, you'll see that there's diagonal lines going through it, which is really actually kind of cool for that. That would make great ties as well if you have that diagonal design but in a floral aspect. This material is soft but crisper than most in drape. Great for shirts, great for dresses, great for skirts that are lined. It is somewhat translucent, so I would line any bottom weight garments. Our next item is 308440, and it is a blue background with a yellow foreground. We actually already have this online with a Fiesta orange design on top of a blue background. Right now that fabric is sold out, but we are getting more of it in soon. It's just a really, really good seller for us. So if you like that one, this one might be an option for you. The geometric design lays this way, but if you want to lay it this way, that's fine too. You can really do anything you want. Just know that when you are constructing a garment, the weft should be going either diagonal or down. And the reason is when any fabric is woven, the weft yarns are actually not as strong as the warp. They have the warp yarns on a loom, and on that loom, the warps, which is going up and down, are already in place. The weft is the yarns that are put in afterwards, and those go like this. So those are actually weaker, and if you drape a garment with the weft hanging down, the garment itself will droop over time if it's hung up. So that's something also to think about when you're sewing a garment. Our next product is one of my personal favorites from this batch. It's 308433, and it's actually made from 70% viscose, 30% tencel. So that's that new fiber I talked to you about earlier. This fabric is extremely soft. So soft and really smooth. It's almost chilling how soft it is. And the design itself is inspired from Liberty of London or Liberty Art Fabric prints. So if you know that company, you know that all of their prints are actually based on stories. This one, however, being that it's not from that company, it doesn't have a story to it, but I do have one later that I will show you the story for. This guy drapes beautifully. So any kind of maybe tropical dress, tropical shirts, vacation dresses, vacation tops. This would be a great outlet for skirts even. However, it is a little light for any bottom weight applications. You can also even make this into a head wrap if you'd like. Our next fabric is 308423, and it is a 100% combed cotton poplin. It comes in this blue coloration, but it also comes where the dark blue is pink and then there's red and green accents to it. So there's two different colorations for this fabric. It's crisp and drape. It is slightly translucent, so I might line it if you're making any kind of shorts or pants from it. However, it's more for top weight garments like shirts. It would be great for summer shorts though. It's a good option for that, but also skirts or dresses would be what you would make from this material. And I like that the floral design is not so regular. The irregularity of it is actually really alluring. It's fun. It looks like it's just falling down the fabric, which is something that we look for when we look to prints. Our next fabric is 308417, and it comes in this navy and white coloration as well as a white and navy coloration. Oops, that's upside down. And it's got an array of horses. So this is your equestrian theme type shirt fabric. It's one of those where you would wear it for equestrian styles or just as a really cool printed top. You would probably see this maybe at Urban Outfitters or at some Ralph Lauren kind of stores. And it's a really fun print. And if you notice, the horses are actually doing different things. The print is much larger than you think it is because the horses are in different jumping positions for a good span of it. It's crisp, so shirting applications are a great option. It's also good for skirts, for dresses, but I would probably stick with those classic shirts with this guy. Our next fabric is 308409, and it is a 100% combed cotton voile. It's got a really pretty paisley design on it in purple, red, and a very dark gray. And this is slightly translucent, so if you were to make any kind of bottom weight garments, you might want to look how it is against the body. I think you should be okay with this. It should be good for shirts, summer shorts, dresses, and I don't believe you'll have to worry too much about a lining. However, I would still order a swatch just so you can see what your preferences would be, as everyone's differs. The drape of it's really easy. It's got a little sheen to it, which is nice, but not overly noticeable. And the paisley design is very small and organized. It would be also great for ties and bow ties. This next product is 308403, and it's another 100% combed cotton voile. And the design on this one is just so much fun. We only have it in this colorway. It's got yellow, pink, and orange all throughout it, but the design is so detailed. There's little dots and drawings going through it, almost like another one of those Liberty of London or Liberty Art fabric designs. It looks like it was actually drawn with a pencil and then colored in with marker, which is really cool. The drape of it is crisp but subtle. So tops and blouses, dresses, those are great options for this fabric. It's a little light for bottoms though. If you wanted to make a skirt, that would be fine, but I would line it personally. I would also take a look on our site on the close-up of this fabric so you can get all the detail in there, because it's hard to see unless you see this close-up really nicely. What? Our last new cotton print is 308398, and this comes in this colorway as well as a blue, yellow, and orange colorway. And it's just another fun cotton print with a lot of color and life in it. So just like the other shirts, top weight applications, that's really what you want to do with this. This would also be great for head wraps. If you wanted to design a hat and have just a band around it that has color and life to it, this would be a great option. It's got a nice drape to it, so I would possibly make a skirt from this fabric, but I would just watch for the translucency of it. Like I said earlier, I just want to let you know again, any of these cotton prints are reorderable, what that means is that not only do we carry them, but we can get large quantities of them and have them delivered to you at a discounted price. So if you want to order large quantities of any of these cotton prints, I would call our customer service department and just speak with them and see what they can do for you. So our next set of fabrics are some of our best sellers that we've had on the site this year. These best sellers are always changing, but as of this week, as of this month, these are the ones that have been on the top of our charts consistently. The first one is 308013, and it's a silk printed charmeuse. Charmeuse fabrics are usually opaque. They're very soft to the touch, great for linings on jackets, also really riveting dresses, anything that goes from formal to business. It can even be casual, but this fabric itself is very dressy, and it's got a large rose print to it. It also has this really easy and fluid drape. Scarves might even be a nice option, floor length gowns. It is thin though, so if you were to do a floor length gown, you wouldn't have to line it due to opacity, but if you want it to be a little thicker, then you might want to line it. You can also make a really nice cowl neck out of it just because the drape is so easy. Our next fabric is a stretch cotton fabric, and the item number is 308979. This guy, although looks textural, is not textural at all. It has a really unique geometric striped print to it. And on the site, it looks as if it's either a twill or if it's textured, but it's not. It's actually really smooth in the touch. It also has a nice amount of give in there. Only in the weft though. In the warp, there's nothing. And that's a sign of a woven. A lot of the times, if a woven has any stretch at all, it'll just be in the weft. The drape of this is crisper, so you can make really cool summer jackets from it. It would also make a great pair of stretch pants. I would also even make pleated skirts. Do note though, it's gonna have a stiffer drape, so don't expect a fluid skirt from this material. It's also pretty opaque, so you really won't have to worry about lining this fabric. Our next item is 307901, and I wanted to show you this one in particular because it is a panel, and it's not only a panel, it's a double-faced panel. And what that means is that it's reversible. Oops, sorry. The front of it looks like this. And I want to show you the bottom because it's got this loop design, and the back of it is the reverse. However, it's actually a double cloth because it's made from two different fabrics somehow constructed together. So it's either woven together, glued together. This one I believe is woven together, if I could find the edge of it. Oh, here we go. So if you can see, it's actually just woven together all the way through at certain points. So that's the definition of a double cloth. This guy is heavier, but it does have a nice drape. So I would say tunics, like longer tunics would be a great option for this. Maybe even constructed jackets. I would do a deconstructed jacket where you have the panels flopping out so you can see either side of the fabric. It's also decent for structural dresses, but I would utilize the bottom of the print just because it's so unique in itself. Our next item is 307243, and it's actually a netted lace. So you probably can't see it in front of me because it's hard to tell in front of anything that's not solid, but it's got this really cool design to it. The pattern's very intricate. And it's just like, it looks like an array of yarns just randomly woven into place. But this lace would be great as an overlay for maybe a colorful skirt. It would be great as a top itself, maybe worn over a leotard or worn over a dress. It's also great to create little accents with, maybe even as a veil, but if you made roses or any kind of really cool structural design with this, this could be a great accent on a garment itself. It's also good for a really detailed tutu. So if you rouge it really tightly and have it go around as a skirt, that would be a fun kind of tutu skirt design with this fabric. Our next item is 307233, and it is a printed crepe de chine from Rag & Bone. And it has a little stretch in it. It's also topped with this really cool checked pattern. However, it's like a window check, which is a check pattern where it's just solid lines going across. There's nothing filling it out. It's kind of like an open window design. However, this one looks like it's formed from scribbled lines, which is really cool. In the close-up, you'll see that. This also has a really nice drape to it. So any kind of billowy blouse would be great with this. Any kind of dress, even like billowy pants, but I would line those. And it would be great for skirts as well. Crepe de chines are also fabrics that are often used as lining for jackets, so that might be a really good option for this material as well. Our next product is one of our Liberty of London prints. It's item number 307574. And what I wanted to tell you about Liberty of London was a lot of their prints come with a story. So this one is a silken cotton voile printed over with Anna's Garden, which is a print that represents a Liberty garden of unusual floral scents and senses derived from a scarf design in 1971. Having said that, here's the print itself, and it's a cluster of flowers growing in all directions which is really cool. And it has a large repeat, so any kind of design made from it, it's not a panel, so you don't have to worry about that or any kind of breaks in it, but it is a large repeat. So to show the full repeat, I would probably make longer tunics or dresses from this material. However, it is a voile and it's very, very thin and see-through. So what I would do is line this material unless you're using it for blouses. It can also be used for a skirt or a scarf. Skirts would have to be lined, but scarves can go without a lining. And it would be just a really beautiful fabric to add to your stash that has a great backstory to it. I would also look at our Liberty of London or Liberty Art Fabrics designs on our site. A lot of them come with really interesting stories. For example, there was this one story where a bunch of children in a homeless shelter actually drew all these pictures for a fund, and they collaged the pictures together and made this really beautiful floral print from it, and that was just a very inspirational type fabric. I would just go to the site and look through these because they're very interesting to look through. Our next fabric is a couture lace, and the item number is 109221. And this is a reorderable fabric as well. So if you wanted to talk about bulk, you can definitely call us and we can give you some options on price discounts. This one's a Guipure lace, which is you don't have a netting in between it, and they're usually heavier as well. And this lace is actually has a print that is offset, so it's not on the actual, it's not set to the actual pattern itself. It actually adds another completely different aspect to it. It's fun and has a lot of color and life to it. It also comes in 5 different colorways. And the way you can find that is by going on our website, and when you click in the item number for this fabric and go to this item page, the rest of the colorations will be there. This one also has finished edges. They're not scallops, but they're finished. And what that is an edge that is complete, and you can use it for hems, you can use it for necklines, for sleeves. You can also use it as the center of a back panel, which might be a kind of interesting idea, and just put a layer of mesh in between. But you don't have to hem a lot of your edges, which is a nice thing to do on like crop tops. You can use this as an overlay for jackets. You can use this for dresses. You can also use this for inserts. So if you just want a part of your garment that has some see-through aspects to it, you can just use that as an insert for it. Our next item is 307111, and it is a printed cotton woven. It actually is a really interesting and detailed print, and why I wanted to show this one specifically to you is because it has an overall floral like sunflower design, but the design's actually formulated with feathers. So it's a collaboration of like painted feathers forming a sunflower design. And it's got a nice sheen to it. It also has a crisper, stiffer drape, but it can be used for top or bottom garments. So if you wanted to use this for dresses, for shirts, for pants, for shorts, any of those options would be great with this material. It can also be maybe like a pleated skirt, but it's going to have more body to it and not a lot of fluidity if it's a skirt. I believe this fabric also has some give in the weft, so that's great for tailored garments or more fitted applications. Our next item is 306671, and it's another Guipure lace. And this one we actually have a lot of quantity of, so if you wanted to ask about bulk pricing, we can probably deliver that to you. I would just have to recommend that you call in for this one so we can see how much we actually have. And it's got a really fun circular geometric design to it. When we measure the repeats, I just want to show you this right now so you can understand it better. The horizontal repeat, it goes from where the pattern starts to where it starts again. Now some would say they would think this is the repeat, being that it has this kind of line going down it, but it's actually not, because if you can see, this part's going up and this part is going down. However, these two match. These are both going down, so that is your horizontal repeat. However, your vertical repeat is much smaller. It's going vertically on the fabric, so it'd be from like these 2 points. This material is see-through, so if you were to make any bottom garments, I would line it. But it could be a really cool sheer jacket, it could be a lined jacket, it could be a really fun crop top, great for an overlay for dresses. This is a really fun fabric to use, and it can be used for many different applications, so I would look into this one. Our next fabric is 300344. It's a Marc Jacobs striped canvas. And I want to show you how we photograph the photos. If you see the selvage is on the sides, we get a wide piece like this, just a half-yard cut, and they're photographed this way. So anytime you see a stripe going up and down, this is how it was supposed to be photographed, so it is vertical as it is in the picture. This canvas also was previously listed as a denim. It is not a denim because it's not made with a twill weave. It is a canvas. Canvas, it usually has a basic weave, a 2x2 basic weave to be precise. And this does just that. And it has this really thick awning stripe, which is fun. It's always fun to have an accent with a really thick stripe. It does drape similar to both a canvas and a denim. However, it's lighter than a heavy denim. It's not a really crisp in drape, but it is great for jackets, for bottoms. It can be made into a shirt, but I would preferably use it for pants and for outerwear articles. Vertical stripes are slimming against the body, and this one, if you did make a shirt, I would probably make a boyfriend style shirt where it's looser and baggier, just for the added look of just grunge to it. And I think that would be a really cool addition to any collection or garment or closet of clothing. So those were not all of, but some of our best sellers on the site right now. And I'm gonna move on to some of our hottest trending items on the site. This one is 308251, and we just got in a bunch of reorderable wool, cashmere, and nylon blended coatings. This is one of them, and they're all solids, and they're really soft. They're thick, but they're not too thick. Great for either draped or constructed jackets. So dusters, cloaks, coats, capes, any of that would be great. It would also make a really nice sweater or oversized sweater. It could make a great scarf as well. And being that it does have that cashmere in there, the surface is really nice. I would definitely recommend ordering a swatch of this. We have a wide array of colors. This one's more of a teal. There's also fuchsia, black, white. There's a purple, I believe, but there are a bunch of colors. So I would look on the site. They're all gonna be linked to this product. Our next item is also reorderable. It's 307811, and it's actually a design that was specifically made for Mood. And if you can tell, it's placed at the store. There's actually some of our employees drawn into the print. You can also see swatch. There's different sections of the store, and it's in the form of a polyester chiffon. However, the quality of this chiffon is superb. It was made on Italian looms, not from Italy, but it was made on Italian looms. So it's unbelievably soft. I would definitely recommend ordering some of this. The drape is just effortless. And although you can make scarves and ruched blouses, I would probably more so leave the print as large and as you can, just because the print itself is just so lively. There's so much going on in there. You have your silk department, you have other departments in the store, you have fashion magazines, you have trims and notions. It's a conversational piece for sure. So this is something that definitely you might want to look into. The next product is item number 307972, and it is another one of our scuba knit neoprenes that contains a phenomenal four-way stretch. So it stretches across the warp and the weft, and it's really nice. It's also got this unbelievably realistic foil print to it. I mean, it's just the coolest thing you could ever purchase. And like I said about reorderable products before, they can be ordered in bulk at discount prices. So call our team if you're looking for large quantities of these fabrics. And this has a really easy drape to it. It's got a lot of body. So what you can do is any type of swimwear, you can do one-piece bikini, one-piece swimsuits, and then bikinis on its own. You could do shirts, dresses, skirts, jackets. Neoprene is a huge craze right now. So this is definitely one of the fabrics to look into. I also have another neoprene to show you, and it is 308137. And this is our second top selling neoprene as well. And it has this insane strawberry donut print to it. And not only is this trending on our site, but strawberry donuts are a huge trend right now across fashion networks everywhere. You can find them in magazines, on bikinis. I also saw, if anyone's a fan of Dance Moms, Mackenzie has a dress or shirt made from a strawberry donut print. And it's just a large trend going on right now, specifically strawberry. There are some chocolate out there, but this one's the most popular. And just like the other one, it has a great drape, a lot of body, and it stretches just like the other one. It's got a nice heavy drape to it. You can do pretty much anything you want to it, and it's great for both activewear and sportswear applications. And like I said before, it's got that stretch. I just want to let you guys know, if any of you like prints, you have your own print ideas, we can pretty much develop any of those prints in a large array of different types of polyester fabrics: jerseys, chiffons, charmeuses, neoprenes. The only thing is the minimums are 100 yards. So if you do want a print and you're looking to order bulk of that print, definitely give us a call. We can work something out with you. Okay? Our next fabric is 303258, and it is a crinkly polyester lame. It's a fully metallic all over fabric, and it is stiff in drape. But if you look across the runways right now, this kind of metallic pleated fabric is very much in. It's been hitting the fashion runways all year long. And this one's got a really crisp drape. If you look on this product itself, I believe I draped something in photo form that you could see, and it's just a lot of fun. You don't even have to do much to it. If you made it with just a tight top and a tight bottom, it's really really fun. You can do jackets, you could do dresses, but I would recommend lining it, not because of opacity, but because it's a little scratchy against the skin. This one is FW25806, and it's a wool and cashmere blend. I wanted to show you this because this kind of light beige camel color and cashmere are both trending items. Camel colored cashmere or any kind of wool is a very big hit right now. It's very kind of Zara-ish feel. And cashmere is obviously one of my favorite fabrics just because of how soft it is. And this one's light enough for jacketing and coating applications, but it's also great for really heavy suits. And you can also drape it into dresses. It's light enough to be maneuvered, so that's a great thing about this fabric. And you wouldn't need to line it necessarily. However, if you do have an allergy to wool or wool does feel bad against your skin in your opinion, I would definitely line it in that case. However, I mean, you can always order a swatch just to be sure. This one is 308123. And the reason why I wanted to show you this fabric is because it's actually kind of like a scuba knit. It is a viscose jersey fabric, and it does have nice stretch in it, but the design is so unique in itself. The design, I don't think this piece shows it fully, but it has this floral kind of stripe to it, and it's placed irregularly. So you have like edges where you actually have this interesting design, and then edges where you don't. And it's just a very complex fabric, and it's hard to see in a swatch, which is why I wanted to show it to you in the first place. It's great for bodycon garments. It's heavier in drape, so it's got a lot of body. And it has this really, really nice speckled rose design to it. It definitely does not need a lining. It's heavy enough to stand on its own. It can either be draped or patterned. And it would be great for jackets, for cardigans, for shirts and dresses, even pants. However, you would have to work with the print to make it just right for you. And the back is white. So if you were to make a a garment where you could see the inside, you might want to line it just for the overall look of everything. Our next item is 308051. And this guy is a polyester twill, I believe, that has stretch to it. And it's just really, really smooth. It's great for suiting applications, which is something that a lot of people are looking for, other options besides wool. This would be a great alternative. And it's got a nice sheen to it. It's got a lot of body, and it can be draped. So if you wanted to make dresses, jackets, tailored pants, anything where you need something that's fitted but also has some structural detail to it, this would be a great fabric to use. You can also just have a simple suit pairing if you wanted a suit jacket with a pant, or a suit jacket with a skirt, or a suit jacket with just a dress underneath. This is great for any of those options. It is solid navy in color, and it's a really nice blue, and it does not need to be lined. However, most people may opt to line their suiting applications, their suitings, just so that the overall appeal looks more complete. Our next item is 111166. And this fabric is not only a scuba knit neoprene, but it is a neoprene backed by a heather jersey, which is really cool. So you can make any type of bodycon reversible garments from this. And it also has a nice stretch in it. There's no stretch in the warp, and so not to confuse people, but when there's a stretch in the warp and in the weft, we use the word four-way stretch or two-directional stretch. And then when we have just a stretch in the weft, we consider it a one-way stretch or a one-directional stretch. And the reason why is because stretch can either be one-way and two-way or two-way and four-way, but then that two-way can mean two different things, and we don't want to get that confused with our buyers. This fabric itself, it's got a great hand. And one side of it has a really beautiful sheen to it, and it's got a lot of body, which is great for any kind of dresses, jackets. We were even thinking maybe a hoodie that's reversible. This would be a great fabric for multiple applications. It can also be a reversible pants. It could be shirts. It could be crop tops. I mean, there's so many options when it comes to this fabric, and I highly recommend getting some because it is one of our best. And our last fabric today is item number 308117, and it is a printed jersey knit with a really intricate dynamic design. And it contains rectangles that are randomly placed, but they look like they're patterned, and it's a really interesting design. On the site, it looks much thicker than it is in person. It's actually just a regular thin jersey knit. And it's got a nice amount of stretch in the weft. And the warp contains stretch as well, which means this fabric is a four-way stretch. And it's a little translucent. It's not terribly translucent, but when you stretch it, you see more than you would if you don't. So it depends on how wide you're going to stretch the fabric when you're going to line it. It has a really easy, beautiful drape. And there's so many things you can do with a fabric that drapes this easily. I mean, dresses are great with this, blouses, t-shirts, tank tops, long sleeve shirts, skirts. You can even make looser flared pants with this, and it would work beautifully. So this is a very good fabric to use for an array of applications. I mean, you can also make draped cardigans with it. So I definitely recommend ordering a swatch. And that's all for today, folks. If you do want to participate in the contest that I spoke about at the beginning of this video, what you will have to do is purchase one of the fabrics that I presented in this video or the past two videos, create something for me or for Swatch to wear, send it in, and then me or Swatch will wear that in the next video that we post, and we'll also post it on all social media outlets with your information attached, and in doing so, we will reward you with a $100 Mood gift card to use whenever you please. And if you do want to do that contest, stay tuned because we're about to give you a 10% off coupon for all fashion fabrics except for those that start with a PV. And thank you again for joining us. I hope to see you next week and have a great day.